mentioned my siblings. My oldest sister, I remember her being a little juvenile delinquent growing up. And then some issues with my other sister, the one that's right above me. Where do you think that the troubled mind that they have, the choices that they've made, where do you think that comes from? And knowing you as a parent, how do you keep yourself from accepting the blame?
I blame myself for a long time. Maybe I didn't give them enough love. Maybe I didn't give them enough attention. But as far as I remember, I did.
This happened over 20 years ago now with Adam. I know Dad and I talked about it. I know you had and you have a lot of guilt when it comes to Adam. Getting that call or getting that text from that he's in the hospital, because episode 1, I explained my point of view. Dad explained his point of view. Now, from your point of view, from what my sister would tell you, from what actually happened, to you going to the hospital, talking to the doctors, I'm sure you had to do. What was that experience like for you? And how have you controlled your mind to accept what you can no longer change?
Welcome to the Dada and Boys podcast.
That's a very, Adam, is a very touchy subject, I know. Your sister has always had, she has an older son than Adam. And the men that she picked were not the best. Adam's dad, the worst of the worst. I mean, she couldn't have done any worse than Adam's dad.
She found
Yeah,
worse.
because the oldest son, his dad was came from a very dysfunctional family, but he had the same issues that my daughter had, drugs, alcohol, and domestic violence. So it was just the men that they picked that was the problem. I don't know why they would hang around with people like that, especially getting pregnant by someone like that. But when she got pregnant with Adam, I was pregnant with your little sister. So, but it was really heartbreaking for me when I found out she was pregnant with Adam, because I knew it wasn't a good thing.
It wasn't a good situation that she was in.
Exactly. A good situation for Adam, for the baby that was coming. I mean, here she is, has one son that's not with the dad and having issues with the dad. And now she's bringing this baby into this world that it's more messed up than the first one. So I was very upset with her. But I had to get over it because it was a child, my grandson, and no matter what, I was going to love that grandson or the granddaughter. And, and when your older sister, had Adam, I mean, that baby was, I guess, his life, a lot of people say his life was to suffer. I mean, he was born with a broken clavicle. I don't know if you remember that. And, they determined because she gave birth so fast that it broke his clavicle. So, and I would hang around the hospital all the time with them. So I would change him, and he would cry and cry every time I would move, a certain part of his body. And I would tell her something's wrong with the baby. That's not normal. No, he just has gas. So finally I brought it up to the attention of the nurses. And they figure, he cries every time you lift his little arms. And she goes, well, maybe it's a broken clavicle. And I'm like, what? Yeah, it's not unusual when they have fast births to have a broken clavicle. So they did it, and they determined he did. But there's no cure or there's no fixing it. The way you fix it is it heals itself. So that poor guy had to suffer for a while with that broken clavicle. And then he also had a history of bronchitis. I don't know if you remember. He would always have
Breathing treatments.
breathing treatments because he was always at my house. I mean, I always babysat them. So I always had breathing treatments. And, but, I mean, I loved Adam with all my heart. I mean, I loved all my grandkids. My grandkids were my world. And being the family that we were, that I thought we were a normal, family, not dysfunctional. I never thought it was going to happen. A lot of people always stereotype abuse, child abuse, and neglect with drugs, alcohol, dysfunction, and domestic violence. And so it was something that never in my dreams would I've ever thought that was going to happen in my family, let alone in my immediate family, let alone to my grandson. So it was something that was, even going through it, was something that I couldn't accept for a long time. Sometimes I still have that blame. Even though I can't do anything to change it, I still have that blame. Because I see your little sister and I see Adam. And as you see, Adam is deteriorating. He's not doing as good as he used to be. And it makes me upset, and it makes me angry, and I know that it makes me feel emotions that I shouldn't. And I wonder, what would Adam be doing right now? Would he be in college? Would he be a football player? Would he? And that's something that I can't help. And it's something, a hole in my heart that it's never going to heal. No matter how much counseling I get, no matter how much psychiatry I get, no matter how much, depression pills I take every year, that hole is always going to be there. Because that's not the Adam that was born. That's not the Adam that we had all these dreams and goals and, hopes for.
I've gotten a lot of comments when I posted Dad's part on TikTok on how how did you keep from strangling him when he was there? I feel like if this happened right now at the modern day me, dad me now, alpha dad me, because back then I was a kid in high school. I didn't know violence. I didn't really know hatred. I was just a kid. I don't know if I would have been that strong to not do something if it would have happened now.
Your brother was in college, Lemoore. And when he came,
he was very angry.
That was his thought. His thought is, I just give me away. And there was a point that I thought he was going to do that. Dad, same thing with Dad. But what we make them understand was, what are you going to gain by it? Okay, you beat the shit out of him like he deserves to be beat the shit out of. You end up in prison for assault, or battery, whatever. Then you're not going to be here for Adam. What are you going to gain by it? He's going to be the victim. You're not going to be the victim. You're going to be this dad that didn't have control. You're going to be this uncle that you didn't have control. Well, Adam needs us here in the hospital, be by his side, because he can pass any minute. You don't want to learn in jail that Adam passed away.
Like his dad did, because at the time, Adam's dad was serving, 8 years in prison for carjacking and robbery and whatever else, other violent crime he was doing. And even I think about, even though he has his past that we clearly don't agree with, he has his lengthy rap sheet. That was still his son, and I can't imagine what he was going through in that moment, being in a jail cell, finding out that your son is fighting for his life right now at Valley Children's Hospital. and we had heard, I don't know the legitimacy of it, but that he got to Raymond in prison, that he had his connections, and
He got stabbed.
And is it humane of us to applaud that? Probably not. Do you think you could ever forgive him?
Nope. I believe in God. I believe in angels. I have faith. But I can't. I will never forgive him. And to this date, as you know, he got out when Adam was 11. So 9 years ago? He's not supposed to be in Fresno County, so he needs to be out of Fresno County. And I ask God every day to not let me run into him, because I really don't know what I would do at this point, you know. But I feel that the justice felt Adam.
Absolutely.
I feel that
1,000%.
And I feel that we should not have fought. As you know how much we fought. He not only ruined Adam's life, he ruined everybody's life that loves Adam. Because look at your older brother. His life, he can't have a life because he's taking care of Adam most of the time. You have your own family, but you have to take time away from your family to give your brother a break. So it even affected your kids, affected everybody's life. And to me, it just blows my mind that this guy is out, possibly married, possibly with children.
And they'll never know.
And they'll never know. Well, we're here waiting for Adam to pass. Because eventually he's going to pass. I mean, you know, eventually everything's little by little is going to be dying now. He can't swallow no more. Now his neck, they think it's related to his brain injury. So little by little, Adam's going to be deteriorating. So we're just waiting for that moment, you know, and our hearts are not happy. We're blessed that Adam is here, but we also are broken of seeing Adam in that condition. And not even to communicate to us, not even what he's feeling, how he's feeling. And that to me is just like, blows my mind. Like, how can someone that technically killed this child, because Adam is not the Adam that he injured, gets to go on with his life as nothing. He paid his due to society. No, he hasn't. He has not paid his due to society.
He hasn't paid his due to Adam.
Exactly. So how can it just, you know, and restitution, I'm pretty sure you know he had a lot of money to pay in restitution, never collected. Lawsuit, you know, he has a lawsuit against him for millions of dollars, having collected a penny. And I just don't understand how the courts, with the restitution, didn't even care to get for Adam. You know that Adam has a lot of needs, a lot of necessary things that a normal 20-year-old doesn't need. But it not only, you know, like, I think it was you that said, he is the luckiest son of a bitch that there is in this world. Because I tell you that he has got, I mean, the restitution, they say they never collected for him because Fresno County didn't send it to the state. So that restitution didn't exist until last year. That's why it was never collected. How lucky can you get? I mean, it's not much, but something is better than nothing to remind him, you did this to Adam. You are the cause of this. because you couldn't control your anger of a baby doing what a baby does, cry. And a lot of good things happened because of Adam. A lot of people say things happen for a reason. I wish that God wouldn't have picked us for that reason. But, at least I have a little bit of comfort knowing that Adam's injury was not in vain, because a lot of good came out of it. I met a lot of wonderful people. McCaffrey Homes made Adam's room, the bathroom with their partners. And we met Michael Valines to help us with Adam's Law. Ken May, his assistant. Channel 21, that was awesome throughout it. Channel 30. But I just wish that somebody would have fought for justice for these kids that get injured like Adam before us, so that bastard could have spent the rest of his life in prison where he belongs. Because that's what he did to Adam. He put him in prison. He put him in this body that doesn't function.
He put Adam in his own hell.
In his own hell. Not only that, it's the people that love him. Because no matter how much I love him, my love can make him better. Like I always tell people, I am so blessed with the family that I have. I am. Because I don't know what I would do without Black. As you struggle with Adam, you guys struggle with Adam because he is so big and so tall.
My hip is shot.
It is like, what would I do without my boys? And that, even though I shouldn't worry about it, it does. It makes me angry because he did this. He did this to not only Adam, to our family that loves him. Because we're not going to put him in a home. That's our baby. And sometimes people will ask me, you don't think Adam would have been better passing away? May God forgive me, but sometimes I question that. My mentality before was, I want Adam to live no matter what. You do whatever it takes to save him. When he almost passed away 4 years ago, remember when they had to put the G-tube and he was in the hospital for a while? They connected us to palliative care because he was so sick. And for the first time, they made me see it's not about me. It's not about me, what I want.
It's quality of life.
They made me see quality versus quantity. It was like, oh my God, I've been so selfish. Like, what would Adam want? What would Adam want? Would Adam, if he would have a choice to say, I want to live the way I'm living? Or would he say, no, I don't, I'm tired? Because he is tired. You see it, I see it. Everybody in the family sees how tired Adam is. But God only knows why he's leaving him with us for this long. As you know, he wasn't supposed to survive the surgery. He wasn't supposed to come out of the coma. He wasn't supposed to live past 6. He wasn't supposed to live past 12.
He wasn't going to live out of his teens.
That 4 years ago, they said he was not going to live past the summer. That was 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. I mean, I'm blessed that God, for some reason, feels that Adam is better here right now with us. But it also breaks my heart because I see that Adam is tired. And who wouldn't be? I mean, 20 years, almost 20 years of living a life where you can't even wipe your own ass, where you can't even brush your teeth, where you can even tell someone, I have a headache, my stomach hurts. But I sometimes question God. Why? Why did you pick us? Why did you give me this hole in my heart that's never going to heal? You know, me and Black talk about when Adam passes. I think I'm ready because I see he's tired. I mean, it's not up to me how long Adam lives, it's up to God. But I always tell papas, don't hang on for me. Sometimes I feel like he's hanging on for me. He's hanging on not to give me that pain of losing him. And I always tell him, papas, please, if you're ready to go, go. If God's ready to take you, papas, you go. I think I'm ready to let go, but we really don't know until God is ready for him. But sometimes I wonder, what life is he living? But then I think about this bastard. And of course, it just breaks my heart for Adam, but it also pisses me off. Because Adam didn't have a choice to get married. He took that from him. Adam didn't have a choice to date. Didn't have a choice to have kids. All those rights that human has, he took that away from him. Well, he got those rights. And yes, am I ever to forgive him? Hell no. If God was to put him in front of me, I don't know what I would do. At this point, I don't know if I would not care to go to prison. I don't know. But all I know is that, yes, a lot of people tell me, that anger is not good for you, that resentment is not good for you. But it's something that I have to feel because it's something that has to be felt. Because how can you not feel what I feel? And as you might remember, he got prison time because we fought for it.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that the DA said, oh, he almost killed his child, they give him prison time. No, as you recall, they offered him probation. So, yeah, pretty pissed off grandma, And, the stress of the criminal justice system, and as you know, CPS got involved because it was a child abuse case. It seems like everybody forgot who the victim was, who needed protection, who needed justice. Adam. And to this day, I believe that they still have forgotten who is the victim, because it's all even though he's out of prison. He didn't get no parole. So he was just, bye, have a good day, enjoy your life.
Wipe his hands and he's done.
Yeah, that's done. Adam didn't get that. And, the good thing, like I said, it wasn't in vain, where now little kids like Adam, the judge has the order, because the judge wanted to give him life, but the law didn't permit it. As you know, there was a life sentence for over 8 years old. But not for under. There was a loophole, which I don't understand how that's possible. But now little kids like Adam that suffer that kind of injury due to abuse can get life. So that gives me some satisfaction that it wasn't in vain. Maybe that's why God chose us, because he knew I wasn't going to let it go. But I just wish that somebody would have done it so we didn't have to go through this pain and this struggle and this challenge that the criminal justice made us do, to put somebody that deserved to be in prison. And it's heartbreaking that people have to fight for justice. Still to this day, people have to fight for justice.
Let me go get you some tissue. Oh, we'll take a break. So, with my oldest sister, how much blame do you put on her?
I would say, this is a tough one, because I know I shouldn't. But after the facts, when even myself, I blame myself because there was a lot of red flags before Adam got injured. There was a lot of red flags that he was controlling, that he had a temper, that he was...
And there's Raymond.
Yes, that he was Raymond, the one that injured Adam. So, and I also saw that. So I also blame myself because I should have stepped in. When she met Raymond, communication with her kind of died down. And I always had a relationship to the point that I used to go visit her or she used to come and visit me, but we saw each other a lot, especially the boys. And when she met Raymond, it just, I got a feeling. She would always never answer her cell. I would question her, like, okay, and she would always tell me, I didn't have my phone on or something. But we learned after the fact that he didn't let her go out and she was not allowed to be around family or friends. And I think I blamed her for not getting out of that relationship that she should have known not to be in. Do I blame her personally for what happened to Adam? No, I don't. Because the only one responsible is Raymond,
the person
that did it. But I do blame her for being with someone that didn't value her, didn't deserve her, didn't deserve her children. But then again, I blame myself too because I should have known all the red flags that were there.
This is something that I have, especially recently, where I kind of battle it in my mind because I do hold blame on her. But if you break it down, this was never her intention. Obviously she never wanted this to happen. She never meant for this to happen. She obviously thought it would never happen. And when she decided not to take Adam to daycare that day, for whatever reason it was, I'm pretty sure that decision haunts her even to this day. My animosity towards her comes from, and it really came to be after I became a dad, after my kids were here, because you let mom and dad take Adam and you don't do anything to try and ease his quality of life. Mom and dad's quality of life, our quality of life. And I can see that it can possibly be that out of sight, out of mind. Mm-hmm. Maybe it traumatizes her so fucking much where every time she sees Adam now, it's a constant reminder of how she failed him. We'll never know what she feels. We'll never know sleepless nights or how much guilt she has and how much blame she has put on. Because I'm sure she blames herself 1,000%. It's just the aftermath. She turned her back on Adam. That's how we can put it. She's not there. She doesn't really check up on him. I don't really, not that we do it for thank yous, but has she ever told me or you or, my brother, thanks? I appreciate what you guys do for him. No. Coming from you being her parent, you being her mom, there had to come a point where you took on Adam and you kind of distanced yourself from them. How do you put your mom cap away and your grandparent cap on? Because in essence, you almost had to pick.
Choose, yeah.
You almost had to pick, and it kind of goes now, current day, with my other sister and her kids. You have my other sister, her 4 kids right now. And you would have thought that after what happened with Adam, that she would have got her shit straight and saw that, you know what, this is real. But no, she lost her kids. She lost her first kid, her second kid, her third kid, her fourth kid. And she continues to make these stupid ass decisions where she puts her kids in very dangerous situations. And we hope that what happened to Adam will not happen to these other kids. But it's almost like you had to make a choice between your grandkids and them. Like, where do you find the strength to distance them for the sake of your grandkids?
Again, it boils down to me, choices. I don't see it as I'm keeping them away from their children, or I see it as my daughter continues to make these choices that affect her kids. And, one time it's a mistake. Okay, you made a mistake. I'm sorry. But 3 times, 2 times for the same thing.
Multiple kids.
And it becomes to the point that you have to think about the well-being of the children, because they are kids. They're not adults. They're not choosing to make those decisions that these parents are making. I feel like, yes, maybe I wasn't the best mom for you or to you, but I know I was a good mom. They say that I was never there for them, which is, I totally remember the opposite.
It almost cost you your marriage at some point.
Yes, because I put them first.
I remember that.
I put them first. And you get to the point of, wait a minute, I'm sacrificing my mental health, my happiness, my marriage, my other children for you. I did for you. And today you tell me I wasn't there for you. That really not only breaks my heart, but it kind of makes me resentful, because it's like, wait a minute. If I had plans, I changed my plans to babysit your kids. I remember that, your older sister made her plans to go out of town, to do this, to do that, before consulting us. It was like, I'm going to go drop off the kids because we're going here, we're going there. And and that caused a lot of friction with your dad, because it's like, wait a minute, she didn't even ask. What about if we have plans? Well, we will break our plans. And it's as heartbreaking as it is, they forgot that. I put all of you guys first. Even now with my grandkids, I put them first. But
well, your dogs are first now.
No, even my grandkids are first now. But and it's to the, even like you said, she doesn't even appreciate. I mean, here I am the worst parent of the world, but I'm raising her special needs grandson that needs 24-hour care. Here I am, I'm the worst parent of the other girl, of the other daughter, but here I am raising 4 of her kids.
It all comes down to choices. It comes down to the choices that we make. Do you have faults as a mom? Of course you do. But any competent human being will just, okay, you know what? My mom did this. I won't implement that when I'm a parent. That's what I do. But as far as a mom, you have always been there for me, and you'll always be there for me. Do we agree on everything? Absolutely not. Do we bump heads a lot? Absolutely we do. But there is just a line where, okay, that's what you believe. This is what I believe. The parent to my kids, we'll leave it at that, and that's how it's going to be, right? Okay. Yes, like that's how a human is. That's how a reasonable, responsible human parent should be.
We all have traumas. Everybody in this world has trauma, but it's the way that you handle it. You either do it in a positive way or you don't, like your oldest niece, the way she says she goes running or she goes to the gym. She found a positive way to take that edge or anxiety that
She finds a way to cope. She finds...
Yeah, in a positive and healthy way. And a lot of people are not willing to do that.
What's your way?
Music. When you see me with my earphones on, that's the only thing that makes me cope. And also gives me pleasure knowing that these kids are in a better situation, even though, they're driving me insane. But to answer your question, it's music.
And your dogs.
And my dogs, yeah.
So I've referenced the dogs many times, and it's because you say no, but it's an obsession with dogs,
No.
with strays, with rescuing.
Disagree.
And you say yes or no, but I feel like it's because you were this passionate about child abuse and ending child abuse and saving every kid possible, but you weren't able to. You got Adam's Law passed, but that wasn't enough. You wanted to do more. I know there was the registry that you wanted to do. You had a lot of
ideas.
Yes, you had a lot of ideas and a lot of goals that just weren't, I guess, feasible at the time. And you shifted over to dogs, something that you could almost control. You see a stray on the street, you can control that. You can go and you can catch them, and you'll spend hours trying to find a loose stray or trying to catch him because you feel like you can control that. You feel like you can make a difference with that. And I think that because of the kids, because you couldn't achieve what you ultimately wanted to achieve, which was I'm gonna end child abuse once and for all.
At least shaken baby syndrome. That's what I wish that I would have, completely, positively bring it down to at least, 1%. I want to believe that's as you know, Adam is the poster child for Fresno Council on Child Abuse Prevention. So they share his story about shaking a baby. So I want to believe that that's made a difference. Sadly, shaken baby syndrome is very common still to the day. I'm hoping that the Adams Law, made a difference. I really would like to know how many people were convicted because of Adams Law. But you're right, and now, as you know, the experiences we have at CPS for the longest times, it kind of discouraged me because, child abuse is so common. I mean, as you know, since we have for your nieces and nephews, and it seems like CPS is just not there for the kids, it's for the parents.
It's a broken system.
It's a broken system, very broken system. And I think that when you have the broken system that should protect the kids, and they that have the ability, the right and the resources to do it, don't do it, kind of discourage me. Where the hell am I gonna, what the hell am I gonna do to make this happen? But you can't deny that I haven't been saving dogs lately because I've been with the kids. And you said I was gonna get rid of my dogs. I'm not getting rid of my dogs. They were there first. But in a serious quote, it's like they help my depression, and I know I keep telling you and Dad that.
Well, they caused mine.
Well, but they on a serious note, they help me with my depression. They help me with my anxiety. I mean, you remember I couldn't stand dogs back in 7 years ago, but now I see them different because I see how much they love me, how much unconditional love, no matter what. When I'm not home and I'm gone for a while, I go spend the night at grandma's. The dogs are the first thing that greet me at my door. They get so happy and so excited, and
they're loyal.
They're loyal. If they could talk, they would, tell me how much they miss me, why was I gone. And where are my children?
Hiding from the dogs.
No, in the room playing TV and like, oh, mom, so I'm all right.
What's for dinner?
Yeah. So, and I know a lot of people that have dogs will understand that. And it's also a mental, and I noticed, I don't know if you noticed too with I was going to say his name, but your oldest nephew, I noticed that it's been helping him too. Baby Ali has been kind of his, now his right hand now. So he gets very proud that Baby Ali is his dog. So I mean, it's therapeutic if you really think about it. It's therapeutic for when you're going through a lot of trauma, and it's been proven. That's why there's a lot of service dogs.
All right, we've been going very long here.
Yes, but let me tell you something about Adam. As as stated with Adam, quality versus quantity, and I know that you know that I placed him on do not resuscitate, and how do you feel about that? I know that I need to ask you
DNR?
guys. Yeah, do not resuscitate.
Well, I didn't know that, so that's
Yes. So he is DNR. So they're not going to resuscitate. And that was a hard choice for me. But like I told you, when we went through palliative care, they made me see how selfish I was being by trying to keep him alive no matter what. And, the fact that I see him, he's so tired. And I just think that when God is ready to go, when God is ready to take him, he's just, I think he's ready to go. Let me ask you this. How do you see Adam right now? Do you see him as I see him? You don't, you take, a few days without seeing him. And what's your impression every time you see him, every time you go to the house?
I've mentioned before, but it's just acceptance of what it is. I have to view Adam as just Adam, because then I feel very sorry for him, and I feel sorry for like the life that he has lived. And then I think about like, can he remember anything? Does he have thoughts? Like, what goes on in his mind? The surviving piece of the brain that he has left, what's going on in there? Does he recognize us? Does he know us? When he's yelling and he's just, very upset. Why? Is it just like an impulse thing that he can't control? Is it him actually trying to communicate something to us? And then I see my little sister, who is his age. And it's just, I have pity. It's almost like a pity. Like I just can't fathom to think what he's gone through and what he would be doing right now if that hadn't happened to him. And if many times that we've been hospitalized, or he's been hospitalized, what he had to just let them
Just leave me alone.
just let me. I'm ready. Like, what is his quality of life right now? Wake up, get his G-tube connected, be in his stander, G-tube connected to eat again, bath, diapers changed, bed, rinse and repeat. I don't know. To me, I just look at Adam as Adam, and I try not to
get emotional.
It sounds odd, but I try not to humanize him. Almost, like, to me, he's Adam. Like, that's just Adam. But you kind of don't really think about, like, he was a human who had everything ripped away from him because of one coward's actions. I mean, I don't know. I feel like when he's ready, it'll happen. I don't know how we will react. I don't know how, if we'll know how to react, because that's a huge part of our life right now. And if that huge part of our life isn't there anymore, how does my brother react? That's his not only that's been his life, that's his income. I mean, that's his job. That's his 24/7 job. I mean, right now, I mean, I don't know. Adam is just life. And what happens when that life isn't there anymore? I don't know. I try not to think about it.
Yeah, there's no quality. That's the problem.
Well, on that note, Mom, I'll see you next time.
Okay, puppy. Bye.
And go ahead and follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, the Dada and Boys podcast. And I'll see y'all next week.